to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
I love how you do so many different things because it's like music, fashion, and you're going to get a master's in poetry?
Yes, at the University of Maryland this fall. I will be starting.
Okay, and then where did you get your bachelor's from?
I went to USC.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So I have an English degree, and everybody's always
Oh my God, twins!
Right? But everyone's biggest thing is like, oh my God, we're going to do with an English degree, and why'd you get that? That's what everyone's response is. So I'm sure you've gotten some of the heat on that.
Yeah.
So what do you tell people when they come out you like with that?
Like, be a DJ? I don't know, a bartender? I mean, like, you can do a lot. You know,
right.
But it's not, I feel like most college majors actually don't really matter once you start applying for jobs because half of these people just want to see that you have a degree. And then also like the STEM fields, everyone says go into STEM, go into like computer science, whatever. But a lot of those fields are like super saturated right now. So I feel like you should just, you know, if any like younglings are watching this about to apply for colleges, just go do whatever you want. And
it's better to have a degree than not, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. These people should be thankful I even went to school.
Right?
So, yeah.
Okay, so the DJing, where did that come from? Is that like a part-time thing that you like really fell into or what?
Okay, it's kind of funny. So I like started producing music when I was 16. And I was kind of insane. Like I would write my SoundCloud link on like the whiteboards in my school and like tell people to go stream me. Yeah, I was like really obnoxious about it. But then I kept doing it in college.
That's smart.
No, yeah, I was, you know, a young entrepreneur.
Right.
And I kept kind of doing it in college, but it just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't really going anywhere. Like, I don't know, I wasn't like giving it up, but I found out about DJing and I was like, you know, I have like really cool taste in music and I feel like this could be really fun. Not even like knowing anything else really about it other than I just like thought that DJs look cool and I wanted to do it. And so I started doing events my senior year of college, and then slowly it just like more people kept asking me to like do stuff for them. I got scouted or recruited to be on Bel Air, like the first the pilot episode. They had me like pretend to DJ. It wasn't a real DJ gig, but yeah, I just started kind of like accruing these gigs, and I was like, oh wait, you can actually make money from this, and it's really fun.
And there's a demand for female DJs.
There is, and honestly, like I think we do it better. Not to be, you know, not to be sexist or anything, but I will say, like, I feel like I have. You know, I mean, I have the taste and I have the look, and so, you know, I feel like it's very, like, people want to book me. So, but yeah, it's just been like really fun, like a really fun
biggest,
outlet.
Like, stage you've been on?
That's a good question.
Like, how many people do you think were there?
Oh, I don't know actually. Maybe like a couple hundred. But
because you've done some, you're gonna go to New York and do something. So what's the stage like there? What did they tell you to expect?
The event that I'm doing in New York this weekend, they told me to expect 700 people, which I think that is like the biggest gig I'll ever have.
Nice.
Done. Yeah, but I really don't. I don't know. I don't get it. Like I feel like I don't even try. Like I'm just existing, and then like people keep offering me to come and spin. I mean, it's kind of like a service. You know, in a lot of ways, because I think a lot of the times it'll be like a flea market or, I don't know, some other type of event where they just like need music playing and they want the look of a DJ. But anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling.
No, I love hearing about this because I haven't had, one of my good friends, Amanda Darling, she became like a big DJ, and then she was going to Greece and DJing. Like she was like in LA, but it took her like everywhere. So I'm really fascinated about it. And then also, how do you come up with theme nights?
Right. Well, I'm actually throwing an event next week. It's called Can't Be Tamed. It's like a Disney Channel themed. It's going to be a Disney Channel themed rave party. And that basically just came from like something that I an event idea that I always wanted to happen because I love Disney Channel music. I feel like it's so camp. It truly like made me into the person that I am today in a way. And I love like the Y2K fashion, just everything about that era, like the J14 magazines. I don't know, I think I'm still like a kid or like a tween. I'm a tween at heart.
But it goes with you. I feel like you can't be tamed.
True. I really can't. I got an English degree, so that's pretty crazy.
And so you do music as well as DJ. And most DJs I know do kind of have their own music, but then I think being a DJ is like more lucrative, so they kind of go that route. So what are some of the musical tastes that you have, and like how, because you said your music's kind of shifting right now, they're not singing what you used to sing, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I used to make, like, I was really influenced by the hyperpop movement, and I was really, so I think when I first started DJing I was playing a lot of that, but I play a lot of like house, UK garage, jungle, Jersey club, which is just like kind of house music that came from the East Coast, and sorry, my brain is like frying right now. Oh, but yeah, and then I don't know, I think I tend to play like very energetic, like electronic type adjacent music for the crowds, but then with like a mix of some like throwbacks.
So what are some of the personal music that you were recording when you were in the studio?
Yeah. In college, I mean, I like produce all my own music in my bedroom basically, so I used to make like,
hey, now you can. Why not? Why not do it?
Yeah, I used to make like electronic pop, and I think I'm still very much on that electronic wave, but I want to like incorporate more jazz into my music, like jazz influence. I don't know. I feel like if I don't know, in my mind, like my dream music would be like a mix of influences. Being influenced by like Bjork, Fortet.
I would love that. That's my kind of
and then like Amy Winehouse, Nina Simone.
See, this is the kind of music I like, so I would love to listen to your stuff.
I just want to do everything. Like I want to put everything into a single. I don't know who's gonna listen to it.
Well, okay. So while you're DJing, do you ever put some of the stuff that you've actually recorded into it? Some of your own songs? Usually
no, not like stuff that I've recorded, but
just throw it in there to mess with people and see what they think. That'd be fun because then they'd be like, what is
it wouldn't go with the vibe because
okay,
it's like,
so it's really okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this whole like demure like bedroom producer thing, but I will play like edits that I've made of like other songs, like remixes, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, so our viewers know about Castle Green because she was on the show last week. So tell you guys tried to collab one time. How did that go?
Oh yeah, we definitely fought. I don't know, maybe she'd get mad at me for saying that.
Well, what was the song you were even trying to do? What kind was the song that you
well, because she wanted me to like produce her music, but we have very different styles. So obviously I'm more like electronic influence, so I'm kind of like going one way about it, and then she wants like a very acoustic, like country vibe. And
you're all about the beats, and she's.
I know, yeah. Two different wavelengths, but we both support each other. So
there's no song in existence that we can like find and like search.
No, maybe one day. Maybe if she learns to like my music more, or I can like her music more. So
when people want to hire you to be a DJ at their event, where do we go? How do we figure that out?
I guess just like my Instagram DMs, which is at January Santoso, and I also go by Jaja January for DJing.
Okay, and then we can just book you there. Yeah, how do you get booked typically on right now? Is it word of mouth?
Yeah, people just message me. I think a lot of it is word of mouth.
How is it from New York though? Because you're kind of known in LA. How did you get to where over there they want you?
Literally, some guy that I went to college with, I guess, and we had like mutual friends as well, just like knew of me as a DJ and like knows that I'm, I don't know, actively doing stuff, and then
That is so cool.
I know, really random. Like I didn't like seek this out.
That's how things happen, right?
I know, yeah. Life surprises you. I really didn't think that I would be doing this 2 years ago, but you know.
And then why did you decide to go to Maryland for grad school?
Because they offered me a full ride. Basically, it's free, yeah. But it's for poetry, and like on a serious note, like why I applied, I am a poet, I went to school for creative writing, and I just kind of like fell in love with poetry, and it's truly, I just find it to be such a limitless form, like that constantly surprises me. And yeah, I don't know, I think like before that, I had that like epiphany of this is something that I love to do. I don't know, I don't know if I really got poetry, or maybe I just like didn't read. I wasn't reading like a lot of different stuff, but I was introduced to many like amazing writers while I was in undergrad that really inspired me to keep doing this. And I think like DJing is fun, but I spent the past year working with kids, and I realized that I really want to like teach creative writing to high school students when, you know, at some point eventually. So yeah, that's also why I'm doing this. And I just want to write a bunch of stuff. So
you go for everything. I absolutely love that. You're like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
So what did you write? You wrote something that you're going to share today. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I could share it. I wrote a poem about, I guess, growing up in Fresno. And I could read it. Where can I read it? And can I read it?
Just read it. And then what,
right
so you grew
here.
up in Fresno.
Yeah.
And your parents, where are they from?
My mom is from Indonesia. She's from the island of Java. I'm half Javanese.
Okay.
And my dad is from New Jersey, from Princeton. Yeah,
like,
so
you
random.
can't get more of a mix than that.
Yeah, his mom is like his mom was full Swedish, and then I don't know what my grandpa was. I just kind of like make up a different ethnicity for fun when people ask. So I'll just be like, I'm a quarter Italian.
So my dad's mom was full Swedish. And a lot of people don't know that I'm actually a quarter Swedish.
Oh, we're both a quarter Swedish.
That's so funny.
That's crazy. This is like the Swedish convention right now, the Geneva Convention.
The best is when you go to like one of those like family reunions with that side, and they look at you like, you were nuts.
I've never met any of them actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I did like one
Swedish,
time where I got to like be around them, and I was like, wow. They looked at me.
Yeah, like you're crazy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so I gotta hear this Fresno poem.
Okay,
yeah, just
okay.
read it.
Okay. Got my phone out. Okay. Okay, it's called I Am Trying to Heal My Inner Child, and then there's these like text emoticons in the middle of it that are like, one of them is like a face that's like this and like the heart emoji, and then one of them is like doing like this, and then one of them is crying.
Is that a thing now that we do in poetry, that you're getting a lot more of that in there?
I don't know. I haven't seen too many of the people do it, but I just kind of do whatever I want because it's just
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm gonna read it. My parents sent me to school on picture day without a check, so I began folding the envelopes into paper cranes, aborting them halfway. All my tchotchkes followed suit in patheticness, ranging from a Barbie doll bondaged by duct tape to a second place ribbon for best cannonball at one of 8 public pools. Being from a Fresno Clovis family on free pools and free cable taught me how to feel lonely and stray. Reruns of Legends of the Hidden Temple on the CW Pavlov me horny whenever I think of garbage. Somewhere between Barbies, Benadryl, benzos, booze, I began to conjure anecdotes out of anecdotes, climaxes which later blurred banally through one another, a chiaroscuro coke finger smudge. I was diagnosed by teachers as a notebook margin terrorist. I suffered from the condition of being bored and tender, both as in bones slow cooked by Central Valley summers and dew-soaked branches off the 41 in winter. Every time I picture Fresno, it is wet, and I am 16 and pregnant with questions. It is sort of like half waking from a dream and scrambling to put the victims back into the horror of my creation to fix it, though I know we're all doomed.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Still a work in progress, actually, but.
What's the borderline what you said, bookmark terrorist? What is that?
Notebook margin terrorist. So when I was a kid, I would just like obsessively doodle on like all my papers, and my teachers would like hate it. And I don't know, I just think that that's so funny. Like they're literally trying to stifle our creativity. You know, like, so like, why does it bother you that I drew like a flower or like an eyeball on this paper that you can still grade? You know what I mean?
I did the same thing. That's so fun. I still heart my eyes. So.
Yeah. So, you know, basically, I think teachers were really marginalizing me for that. So.
I love that. Do you ever share this on your social media, your poems?
Sometimes, yeah. I had like a separate account for it a while ago, but I don't know, sometimes I'm very like, I'm a perfectionist, and even when I like, this is why I haven't
never gonna like your stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I just
already
keep
know
everything like hidden away. So, but one day, you know, that's why I'm going to this program, so I can like get better. And
you're never gonna like your stuff, girl. You know that's just part of the.
I think as long as I like it I just have to like it for enough time to like send it to the publisher, like get it published. And then like once it's out, I don't have to like it anymore. But I just, you know, there's like a small window of time where I do have to like my work. So
right, no, I get
yeah,
you.
hoping that I can, you know, reach that point at someday.
Right, and that means everyone's gonna love it because you don't like it. That's the good part.
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, it's not for. I feel like different poetry is not for everyone, but you know, I try to write about like weird topics. I write a lot about my like heritage and about substance use and, you know, teenage rebellion and all sorts of things. And I feel like the reason why I shared that poem was because, I mean, Fresno is a huge part of who I am, obviously, but I feel like when I was a teenager, it was just kind of like the perfect, almost like chaotically perfect background for, I don't know, me to just be like, I don't know, it's hard, I guess it's hard to say, but I don't know, just something about, there's like this image that I have in my mind of teenagers just kind of like hanging out in like a parking lot in Fresno in a strip mall late at night because there's like nothing else to do, and
right?
Like, that's so real, and like that is the kind of stuff that I want to write poetry about, you know, kind of like the mundane, but then also like, there's so much to unpack there.
There really is a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, so yeah.
I love, you are so fun. I can't, so I really hope that you do kind of share a little bit on your actual Instagram that you gave us, all of this, because I definitely want to follow everything you're doing, like your journey.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Are you ever going to do any DJing here locally? Because I know you don't really, you just bounce back and forth here in between.
Yeah, I mean, if the timing aligns, then I would be happy to spin here.
Everyone who's watching locally, so hey, book her so we can come and support.
I'll be gone by here. You have until August 14th. I don't know.
And then you'll be back for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get you, girl. Don't worry.
True. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
ashes of my life created a masterpiece. Look what you've done for me. You made me beautiful. You took the ashes of my life, created a masterpiece. Broken to pieces, dashed to the ground, scattered the bones all around. Beautiful temple, I fell down, but you reveal your heart to rebuild me. Look what you've done for me. You made me beautiful. You took the ashes of my life, created a masterpiece. Oh Lord, you saw my tears, you saw my pain, you knew my fear, erased my shame, so I can say I'm not the same again. You saw my tears, you saw my pain, you knew my fear, erased my shame, so I can say I'm not the same again, again. Look what you've done for me. You made me beautiful. You took the ashes of my life, created a masterpiece. Look what you've done for me, Lord. You made me beautiful. You took the ashes of my life and created a masterpiece, and created a masterpiece, Lord. You're beautiful. In this world we'll have trouble, just when they said it was over, and hard times made you wanna give up. Hold to your faith, look to the hills. My help cometh from the Lord. You have the faith, God has the power. If you have the faith, God has the power. If you have the faith, God has the power. God is all powerful. How He loves when we put our trust in Him. Oh, faith moves God as it always has. He can do anything, anything. You can depend on Him. You have God has someone is dealing with some situations that seem insurmountable, but I want you to know that God's got you. Just exercise your faith and watch His power. Faith to move mountains. 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 Just a little bit, yeah. Just a little bit of faith. He's got the whole world. All power is in His hand. He can move mountains. Do you believe it? Say faith to move mountains. There's a hidden jewel inside everyone. There's a place where we can hide while He's working to create a heart that will receive. Tear down the walls, break the chains that bind. Make your presence known in my life, because the spirit of excellence is what I want. Excellence is what I need. Excellence is what I want to be. Lord, open up. Excellence is what I want to be. Sometimes we go through things that seem too hard for us, but then I know it's God working like an uncut diamond needs refiner's fine. Burn away impurities that will define. Make your presence known in my life, Lord. Excellence is what I want. Excellence is what I need. Excellence is what I want to be. Excellence is what I want to be. Lord, you know the contents of my heart. And Lord, you know
Thank you guys for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having us. It's
You
an honor.
sing really beautifully. How long have you been singing?
Oh my goodness, since I was 7 years old, first solo in church with my eyes closed. I think I practically taught the song.
That is so funny. So
Yeah,
did
no
you have a little bit
melody.
of stage fright?
I did, yeah. So I said, God has a sense of humor. Everything that I do is
In front of people. Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
And then I love your story. You got to tell our audience about your story, how you
we
guys met. Because it's
I don't have to mention the age. Yeah.
I guess not.
All right. Yes, I was a senior in high school, and Iris was a freshman. So, okay, I'll say it, 18, 15, right? So, I still remember the day Iris was passing by. She had a pink plaid outfit on, right? And I was like, man, I would like to get to know her. I was too shy at the time to really get to know her, but eventually a friend of her pushed her into me, and Iris gave me a note saying, can we be friends after high school?
Well, that's very bold for your shyness. Like,
Okay.
She says it's not true, but it is true.
Okay, so we need to qualify for the audience. When a woman says she wants to be friends, we really want to
She
be
wants
friends.
to marry you. That's what it's,
this is a bad
But
example.
But apparently I did want to marry him. So, and our anniversary is coming up. So we will be married at 47 years, 27 years, and we've known each other 32. Yeah,
Wow, I
we've been together
love
32
that.
years, yeah.
And you know, so my parents were the same, the high school, so we were the same ages, so it's not that bad.
I don't feel that bad.
Okay.
So then we left off when I finished. I was 2 years into college when Iris graduated from high school, got in my Ford Escort, went all the way to Oklahoma together and went to school out there together. Then got married out there. Yeah.
Yes.
So what brought you back to, well, what brought you here? Because you guys were Bakersfield people. What brought you to Fresno?
My brother's a local pastor, so
Yeah.
and I was in here in Clovis.
Praise
Praise Church. So
Right, I've seen that.
yeah, right there at the old Regency Theater.
Sean Willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
So we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We know we wanted to get our master's degree in social work. So I called him up. He said, hey, there's a university out here, Fresno State. So we got on the phone. They gave us an interview, and that's what brought us out here. So, and we also wanted to help him in the church.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
And so then how did you guys become college professors? Like, what was like all?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Was it me first? Was I?
I think, he was first because you graduated a year before me, so you have to be in the field for so long, and then they will offer you to come back and be a professor. So, he was doing it for how long before
Probably
I
about
kinda came
8
in?
years or so at Fresno State.
Yeah, and then he encouraged me. They needed some professors, and I've been doing it since 2008. So
it's always been like social work or in some type of like therapy.
Yes.
I focused on like research and social work. So Iris actually convinced me to go. I have a degree in psychology.
Yeah.
So when we were like deciding what to do next, she was like, "I'm going to go into social work." So I've just been chasing Iris like all my life. So people were wondering, how did you get through school? Were you motivated? I was like, I'm just chasing Iris.
I love that
Yeah,
story.
really,
That's
and
really
it got me a
funny.
college degree. So when she was like, I'm going to social work, I was like, oh yeah, I'll go to social work too. It sounds like something good. I always wanted to help people. I knew that. Besides chasing Iris, I was like, I want to help people. So, and I heard that social work was so broad that you could do so much with it. I was like, okay, I can do counseling. I can do things like that. So,
Do you guys psychoanalyze each other?
All the time. No, they say I do it all the time.
Yeah, she is a counselor. You don't want to get into
I don't
any
turn off.
arguments.
Oh, I love it.
She'll diagnose you and stuff like that.
That is awesome. That's really awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so now you guys are kind of working together in a practice. So explain that.
Yeah. You want to tell a story like, so, part of our journey is when we were in high school, no lie, we used to get together at lunchtime eating taco salad. And at one of the times we were eating together, I was like, Iris, one day I would like to start like a nonprofit or a counseling center. And I said, I'm going to call it Person to Person. And she was like, what do you mean person to person? I said, because my last name is Person. I'm gonna make sure your last name is Person, and that's what we started to do.
Proposal.
That is the coolest thing
Yeah, that was a
I've ever
proposal.
heard.
Yeah, I told people you gotta take notes. That was like, you know.
I gotta
so,
give him props.
Yeah,
for
that was how we was doing it. So yeah.
That is so that's the name of the practice, is person to
Yeah.
person.
Person to
That is,
person,
oh my God, you don't even know how much I love stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what a
cool.
great play on words.
Yes.
So how long has that been going on?
Wow, since 2008, too, I
About
would say.
2008, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, about 2008.
And you guys offer counseling?
Yes, we offer counseling, every type of issue, you know, whether people are grieving, depression, anxiety, PTSD, any kind of trauma. We see everyone from children to adults. My youngest client has been 2 years old, oldest client 90.
2 years old.
Yes. So you can do play therapy. You know, so we have a niche with like marriages and couples counseling.
Well, I was going to say that. I would.
Yeah.
And I love that you have the experience. You're not one of those people that, like, you know, doesn't have the experience to back up your advice. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think it's not only like the experience of like the clinical piece where you learn, but obviously the experience that we have with each other, you know,
Yeah,
because
it's
one of the
true.
things that we always kind of talk about is like, you know, our first 2 years, you know, we were like trying to figure that thing out, you know, and so to come from a period where we wasn't sure ourselves, like, you know, in terms of marriage, and so to be able to bring that into the practice is really an opportunity, you know, for us to like help others. So bringing in the clinical, our own personal experience of trying to make a relationship work, and I think that's where the power comes from.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for saying that, because I think that's what we're about. Is we're very transparent, and I think telling your story to people is, we think it's all the clinical and all the textbook stuff that you learn in training, but I think people connect with stories.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So I think that's what makes us unique. You know, what we do. Yeah.
I love that. And then do you guys do a lot of therapy together then?
We do some, like we do some post-marriage therapy, but we do a lot of pre. So like couples that want to get married, we have a lot of people that refer people to us, and so we take them through like a 6-week course, or sometimes short, or a 3-week course. You know,
Oh my gosh, I love that.
communication to boundaries, love and respect.
Yes.
So we like doing that.
What's one of the biggest things that you guys see when people come to you, that like one of the biggest like communication gaps or something, or not connecting or not listening to the word? What are some of the problems that, and there's always like one where like this is the biggest problem people have?
I don't know,
Good
dudes,
question.
men, we need to get better. You know, I love men. I'm a man too.
He said it.
Yeah, I said it, and the guy's gonna talk about me, but I think guys, we gotta step up. So I think, you know, there's a lot of reluctance and pride that goes into it. Like, you know, I preach being vulnerable even as a man. But it's not just us, it's both. But I would say for sure, like this communication thing, because I think men and women are very different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot that go into it. So for me, I think it's the communication, how to communicate with a woman and not letting your emotions or your pride or what you think how a man should act get in the way.
Yeah.
And being
that's it.
vulnerable to that point, I think it helps out a whole bunch. So from my aspect, I'm not sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with him on the communication, and I think also I see a lot of issues with boundaries, just people not respecting each other's, you know, boundaries and not even knowing what that is. You know. It's
Well,
like,
I mean, that's true. You know, we really didn't in our regular culture know what boundaries wasn't. It's a newer thing. I mean, you might have known for a while because you're in the field, but I'm sure even when you went studying for it, you were kind of like, what's this? Because it's not something that taught growing up.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that to your point, you know, I don't think people have really ever been taught that. So it's like a foreign concept when you talk about that. Like,
I have a huge problem with boundaries. So I can be like.
See, vulnerability,
Well, since he said about men having problems, what are some of the problems you see that women have in communicating?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I work with a lot of women that are not attuned to their own needs, you know, or being able to voice, you know, what they need or get their needs met, you know. So sometimes it's a lot of internalizing or acting it out, per se. So I try to encourage women and empower women. That's one of the things I I really focus on with women is empowering them to be attuned to your feelings, self-love, you know, and respecting yourself, you know, because I always tell them, I say, how can you expect someone to respect you if you don't respect yourself, you know? And so it's really tapping into that self-love, you know, and being able to, I guess, project that, if you will. Yeah.
So in that, do you guys have other people that work with you, other therapists you guys work with?
No, just me and Iris primarily within that. And, you know, she does the bulk of the work, and I come in typically because I have a day job as well. So
that's what I say. When do you guys even have time for that?
Yeah, we don't. We like into everything, but this is like, it's always been a passion of ours, and something that we're passionate about, like just helping people. So it's like, it comes easy to me, you know, and to be able to, like, you know, do the counseling. It's not as much work as you would think, you know. It's really just because you see yourself, and, you know, maybe you're projecting a little bit, but you see yourself in the midst of that, and you remember when you had high hopes of a great relationship. And I always believe that most people can do the same. So sometimes people just need a little help along the way to how to communicate. So I love being in that with Iris, because I learn a lot when I see her counseling. And she show us right, because I like to see her work with young ladies, how she talks about developing her voice, because she practices it too, you know. So, and that voice is so important, because me and her always talk about, like, when a person is developing a voice, if you say things to me as a man, and that's why I love the learning, like, if you don't say it in a way that I'm receiving it well, and we always talk about being effective, like in the communication, I'll shut down, and no matter even if it's really good, I'll never even hear it, because then I feel disrespected, you know. So I love being in those moments, whether to see people like get that revelation, because that is true. Like, if you say it in a way, it could be great and it could be true and right, but if I'm not feeling respected, I'm not going to receive it.
Yeah. And if women are not feeling love, then, you know, they can't fully engage in a relationship as well. So yeah, that's one thing we try to really emphasize in our work with people: love and respect. Yeah.
Wow, so you wrote a book. Did you write a book too? Who's written?
No,
you guys are doing so many things. I have to keep up. Okay, the singer, the author, the singer. Okay. So you don't sing at all.
I've tried, but it's not well.
I think you should let him sing a few
We'll
verses.
let you stick to the writing then, I guess, from what you're saying.
Let me write.
So what's the book about?
The title of the book is called Bye Bye Boogeyman. And, you know, people always ask me, why did you call it Boogeyman? Because when I was a kid, I was a very, very scary kid, and I had a boogeyman in the closet, right? And I always had these boogeymen in the closet or under the bed or wherever outside on the...
You were the boogeyman, or there was a
There were boogeymen,
There
right?
was boogeyman.
Yeah. So
but you're not the boogeyman.
I'm not the boogeyman. People try to, when I go speak, they always call me the boogeyman. I'm like, I'm not the boogeyman. I'm talking about a boogeyman. And you know, when you're a kid and you have these, like, boogeymen or whoever they are, they're really like just imaginative, right? And really they don't exist, but they feel like they exist. But they hamper you. And as a kid, I can remember I was very, very scary. I was very like a scary kid. So all those things bothered me. And what I found out is, like, when my brother would come home, my big brother, they really didn't exist. So the boogeyman that was in the closet was just a pile of clothes, because my brother brought me a lot of comfort. So I dealt with that. So in my book, I talk about, as adults, we have our own, like, boogeymen. So, and our boogeymen could be like afraid to be rejected, afraid of failure, even afraid of success. So I kind of deal with that in my book. So I bring like that, like, friendly version, but really deal with that. And then I also deal with, you know, anxiety as well, which is something that's real.
Wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
You guys need to write a book together. I'm sure people.
Yeah, we got one coming. We have one coming.
Oh, thank goodness.
I ain't gonna give you a spoiler of the title,
my
but it is going to be crazy good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow.
Yes.
And so why the mental health thing? I haven't seen that really. Okay, so where are we going into mental health with that? What are you guys noticing with mental health, and why are you guys drawn to helping people with mental health?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Great question. Yeah. Well, I would like to be transparent, you know, in everything that I do. I think my story has a lot to do with how I arrived here, you know. So I'm a survivor of trauma, childhood trauma, depression, anxiety, suicidality.
Is that why you were shy at 7 when you were singing? That was part of it? Was a trauma? Being trapped in a traumatic.
Okay. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Yeah. and you know, just was very hopeless at one point in my life. I could never see myself on the other side of, you know, what I was going through. So it's really at the heart of everything that I do, you know, whether I'm counseling people, teaching, you know, giving back in the community, or singing, you know. It really is my message and my redemption, you know, I think, you know, in doing that. So I just want to help as many people as I can to overcome whatever they've gone through, and just to fully realize, you know, what is within them. If you could just get to the other side, you know. So I'm living proof of that. So
it's hard. It's a lot of people really don't get to the other side, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Wow.
So.
And then you kind of got into, well, like, because you always follow her, so she kind of...
I shouldn't have said it. Yeah, I've been following her a long time. You know, we all got our own journeys, like I talked about. Yeah. You know, my father, unfortunately, wasn't there when I was a kid, so then he fell into his own bouts with, like, drugs and stuff. So me and Iris, you know, what's interesting, we knew each other in poverty. We knew our stuff while we were both going through our own things
together. What a great story.
Yeah, you know.
People always think you can't overcome stuff like that.
No. I used to walk to get to her house, I would walk through a drug-infested neighborhood, and I would go through, I still remember the railroad tracks to get to her, and I had to run around, you know, chasing Iris, right? I'm about to write a book, Chasing Iris. So,
man, you made it go through a lot.
And so, like, through that journey of, like, my dad fell, unfortunately, to drugs at the time of, like, the crack epidemic occurred, so he wasn't there for us. So through that, you know, I developed my own battles, you know, of, like, you know, of, I wouldn't say depression, but certainly, like, rejection, of being rejected because you feel rejected. So within that, here comes fear. Later on, Iris could attest to it, here comes anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think some of those things don't come out of, like, just bad experience, or, like, my idea even with anxiety and fear is, like, you care for people so much, right? That it ends up making you anxious, or you want to do well so, you know, much, it makes you anxious. So I started seeing those things in my life, and I was like, gosh, I can deal with those things through help. You know, having a good person with me in that journey really helped. So, and what I found out is, like, a lot of times people just don't talk. We all kind of deals with things, but we all
deal with the same thing.
Yeah, we do.
We don't talk.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. You know, I was with a group of men, like 10, and I started talking about my book. Like, men, we're like, I think 40 through 60. And I was like, how many of you deal with anxiety? Out of 10, 8. Like, grown men, 8. And they all just raised their hand. I went to another event. Out of, like, 20, you know, 15. And I was like, have you told anybody? People don't really talk. And I was like, we all deal with things, and when we deal with things and we're alone, that make it tough. And that's what people end up being alone. So, you know, this journey that we on is really, like, you know, we feel like it's a God thing that is allowing us to help other people.
So what event do you have coming up with a QR code that we can get involved with?
So that's the concert. It's entitled Rise. And
love that. I just love the whole everything.
Yes. I told you it's all connected, right?
It's all connected.
Yeah. So it's titled Rise, and it's the release of my new album, which is Rise. But we also, because of our passion, you know, for mental health, we're also using the platform to raise awareness for mental health. And we were talking in our committee, and we were like, rise above the stigma, you know? In so many communities, especially minority communities and the African American community, you know, it has really been stigmatized. You know, we tend to stay within our family groups, and
our family does not like. Right, I understand. Like, when you have these ethnic families, they don't even understand pain. They're like, you're gonna go to school, whether
right.
Yeah. Exactly.
You'd rather go to school than be home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's I was so glad you guys were doing this. So it's gonna be you singing and other people, or just you?
So I'm going to be the main singer. It's my concert, but I also have some guest artists coming to be with me as well. So we have about maybe 2.
So where and when?
So it's going to be Friday, August 18th, 5:30 at the Regency Event Center, and that's right, Willow and Shaw.
Do we get tickets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
for sure. We're going to drop you off the tickets. Tickets for those that are community are only $25. but we're opening it up to, we're donating tickets to different groups
Also,
too.
yes.
I love that. No, I love
we
all
wanna
of
make
it.
This is she have her debut album, right? She's done
Yeah.
singles, but it's going to be an unbelievable event.
Did you write a lot of the music on there, or all of it, or?
I wrote all of them.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So what inspired that? I'm sure it's a lot of what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of my songs, I always say it's like either a prayer or it's something, you know, that I've gone through, or it's just expressing my story in some way, you know, so every song you can hear an element of my story.
Yeah, it's
you
so
know, my
beautiful. It doesn't
testimony.
sound traumatic at all. It's like-
Well, that's why I said I sing for the redemption, you know, in terms of the story. So when people hear me sing, they even hear it. Sometimes you can hear the pain, but you also hear the peace. You hear the joy.
Yeah.
You hear the triumph also. So, you know, yeah.
I love that. And then can we download this on like SoundCloud and everywhere?
You sure can.
When
yeah.
is that going to drop, or is it out?
So I have the song that you heard, Power, that's already streaming on all platforms.
Yay.
Yeah, so you can get that. You can also visit my website to check out anything that I have going there. But person.hearnow.com is where you can go to get that Power song. But the Rise album will also be out August 18th. So we will have that streaming on every platform, or you can buy believe it or not, people still like physical CDs. So we make
I
sure.
do too.
yeah. And so you can also get it in that format as well. So it will be available, and we're gonna release it on that night. So
Is this your first CD?
this is my first album, so yeah, this is the debut. I've done how many singles? 3 singles. And so yes, you'll get to hear all of those songs. The 2 that I sang, Beautiful and Woman of Excellence, which I wanted to dedicate to
Thank you.
today and all of
you
your
have no
beautiful
idea how
ladies.
much I appreciate that.
So yes, you truly are a woman of excellence. So that song and the beautiful song will be remixed. So it's really exciting to hear what my producer, has done with those 2. But you'll get to hear the Power. I've written another song on there, and so another 2 surprises on there. So
I love that. And the Boogeyman book, is this your first book?
First book.
Are we going to sell that too? That we're going to have CDs?
Hey, let's sell them. Yeah. It comes.
You're gonna
I always try to tell Iris, this is, obviously we kind of do a lot of things together. So she's like my biggest fan, and I've been her biggest fan forever.
Yeah,
But she's like, you got to sell some books. I said, yeah, we'll do it. So my book is available on Amazon and also Barnes and Nobles. But I'll have some books out there as well.
Yes.
That is so cool. And then are you looking for people, because you said you're going to donate to various things. Are you still looking for really kind of like help with that, or?
We're looking for some groups that would. Obviously, we've put all efforts financially to kind of make it a successful event. So that's why we don't give away all the tickets. But
But do you have people like vendors already? You have some of that? Are you looking for more vendors?
Yeah, we need more sponsors, that's for sure. We have some unbelievable sponsors like Hedrick Chevrolet, Wonder Valley, Abundant Life Ranch,
Selah.
We have some people that are really like just stepping up in the patio cafe.
To donate.
That's what we were gonna ask you. You got a
I'll put
connection.
them on blast right
You
now.
have a connection.
We need
You've
them.
known them forever.
He's our friend.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
Oh, I like the patio cafe. That's nice. Okay, so you're
patio cafe with Robin there. They are friends, and so we're looking for a few more sponsors to allow us to not only give more tickets away, but make sure that.
What about alcohol sponsors? I know some wine people and stuff.
Oh, why not? Sure.
Oh, cool. It's mental health center.
Yeah.
There's me always throwing on the booze. So I just want to make sure it's okay.
Hey, no, for sure. I mean, we take all comers. I mean, because we think the event is, worth it, and it allows us to be able to put something together that's really special.
And what I want to know, in the therapy, in the person to person, do you guys take insurance for that?
Oh yes. We take most of the major insurances and also other insurances. Sometimes they'll do like a single case agreement contract with us too. So they can always check with us to see, but we're definitely with the major.
Great, so it's not
insurances.
all just cash, because a lot of therapists, and I actually had this conversation last night. A lot of them are cash only and don't even work with insurances. So that is really awesome.
So
Do
we
you guys
both.
even have time to take new patients?
Yes, you know, I stay pretty booked up. Like Darrin said, I'm
think so.
doing the most.
Yeah, it's pretty booked. But we, you know, it's hard to actually, you know, Iris knows that it's hard to say no.
Yeah,
And
it really
I
is,
think we're guilty of that, especially when we come, you know, when I'm involved.
Boundaries, guys.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we needed to hear that.
Yes.
No, I could hear it. I knew it was coming too. Yeah, we got to find a way. But she's been very good. Like, you know, I'll just try to take care of her. She said, hey, we're going to make sure that we have a life a little bit too.
Yeah,
so
right. That's
we do
important.
good. Yeah.
Self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care. So,
Thank you guys so much for coming on my show. And
thank you.
I'm going to follow your journeys. Instagrams, give your Instagrams to everyone. Are you guys good with Instagram and posting what you're doing?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He's better than I am, but I'm getting there.
Okay, so we can follow you guys on Instagram.
Oh, for sure. We're
definitely
going to
are.
post everything Sparkle. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a great show.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the time.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. I just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.